What's up, Top 10 fam?
Hope you're having an awesome day. It's your girls, Ames and Abs, back at it again. Welcome to another video. Now, this is a hot take for sure, this one. But before we get into it, guys, I just wanted to tell you we are launching a new channel. It's called Top 10 Central. It's basically top 10, but just funny things, comedy. There's no more scary anymore. We don't have to cry ourselves to sleep. The first video is going to be launching soon. Click down below and be excited. Be excited, you guys. We're going to be posting daily. Daily. Okay, before we even say anything, we need to define what a boomer is. Some people like try to pass off as like Gen X, and it's like, nah, you a boomer. Take it away, Abby.
Okay, so fam, first we need, as she said, to describe our terms. And now while baby boomers refer to babies born between the years, 1946 and 1964, the term boomer, I find, is a little bit looser, okay? Right now, it's more about calling someone out of touch or pointing out someone older, has capitalized on someone else's inequality, and it's more than making an attack on a whole age group. Because, like, come on, I love my grandparents. They're boomers, but very nice boomers.
We love them.
Yeah. Love you, Nan. There are some boomers out there that need to be stopped. And yeah, I'm not here to be stepped on by a condescending older authority figure. So, okay, boomers, calm down.
With that being said, these are the top 10 scary boomers that need to be stopped.
Alright, starting at number 10, Leon Cooperman. Now, you may have seen this man in recent news for getting emotional over Elizabeth Warren's proposed wealth tax, calling it unconstitutional. And like, dude, how do I know more about these things when I wasn't even alive when they happened? You boomer. Taxing the rich is more than constitutional. It's how the US recovered from the Great Depression. Income inequality skyrocketed after 1979 once taxes and policies that kept the rich in check were repealed, when regulations were loosened. I'm just heated. Do y'all know what caused the Great Depression in the 30s in the first place? Yeah? A stock market crash when the richest 1% accounted for nearly a quarter of all wage and capital income. It's called the Great Divergence. Look it up when all of the people stopped getting regulated. Anyways, Leon Cooperman, you are a billionaire crying over the idea of giving money that you do not need to a country that will fund programs to make people that you probably make money off of and help them. So that's a billionaire problem if I've ever seen one, so save your tears for a more appropriate time. Okay, boomer? Thank you.
Coming in at number 9 is Mel Gibson, the American actor and filmmaker known for starring in Mad Max, Braveheart, and his angry outburst was born in Jan of 1965, making him a boomer. Unlucky Mel. Now, I feel like Mel Gibson has been problematic for a very long time. Back in 1991, he was accused of homophobia by the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation for making derogatory comments about homosexuals during an interview. He then refused to apologize for his comment and actually defended what he said. 6 years later, he joined GLAAD in hosting queer filmmakers for a seminar. So I mean, did he change his mind? Was he doing it to make people think he wasn't homophobic anymore? I don't really know. By 1999, Gibson claimed he shouldn't have made the comments but was a bit tipsy during that interview. But I mean, what's that saying? A drunk mind speaks sober thoughts. Okay, boomer. Then in 2004, Gibson co-wrote, directed, and produced The Passion of the Christ, which was accused of heavy anti-Semitism, leading to protests outside the studio distributing the film. Now, people claimed it would be unhealthy for Jews all around the world. Now, I haven't seen it and I don't really want to. He was also recorded on tape having a violent outburst towards writer Joe Esterhaz, saying things like, "I'm earning money for a filthy little cocksucker who takes advantage of me," and other misogynistic remarks like that. Then in 2010, because yes, it does get worse, in a phone call to his wife at the time, Gibson suggested that if she got raped by a pack of black people, she would be to blame. And no, he did not refer to them as black people. He used the N-word, which I'm not gonna repeat. Very soon after that, he was barred from coming near her or their daughter because of a domestic violence related restraining order. So I mean, what have we learned? This boomer is a homophobic, racist, and a wife beater and misogynistic. Say less. He needs to be stopped. Alright, on to number 8, Bill Clinton. And now, while he was once seen by some as a Democratic dreamboat, he was also a boomer that could have abused his power. Born in 1946, let's see the receipts. So, Juanita Broaddrick, Leslie Milwee, Paula Jones, Kathleen Wiley, those are 4 names of women who allege Bill Clinton sexually assaulted them. Then, he had extramarital affairs with at least 2 women, Monica Lewinsky and Jennifer Flowers, which is just a dick move to your wife, man. So yeah, the man was impeached from his presidency and he hasn't seen the full repercussions of his actions. So like some, stopping but not fully. Cause yeah, he apparently rode on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet 26 times. And yeah, that's the plane that has the nickname Lolita Express. So the man still gotta be stopped. Filling on number 7 slot is Jeff Bezos. Bezos? I don't know. The founder, CEO, and president of Amazon was born in Jan of 1964, so he just about made it into the boomer category. Unlucky. Firstly, the man is a control freak. He runs Amazon very strictly to the point employees have complained they don't get sufficient breaks, and he's not even apologetic about it. He's been known to tell his employees that they should pay him to work at Amazon. Okay, boomer. In 2002, he told all the engineering teams to rebuild their systems all over again into a more compatible interface, and that whoever couldn't do it would be fired. Bezos has outbursts at his employees, saying things like, "Why are you wasting my time? I'm sorry, did I take my stupid pills today?" He pits his employees against each other by encouraging them to question other people's ideas and report on each other's productivity and give secret feedback about others to their bosses. Jeff calls it purposeful Darwinism. I don't know about that. Despite being the richest man in the world with a net worth of over $109 billion, he said he didn't know what to use his wealth on aside from investing in his space company. Charity just wasn't a priority, clearly. Neither was philanthropy. On top of that, he's a self-proclaimed tax dodger, saying he founded Amazon in Washington to avoid California's sales taxes and was generally considering building it on a Native American reserve, which is already so problematic in itself.
On to number 6, Stephen Schwarzman. This man is the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of the private equity firm Blackstone. In quite poor taste, this man threw a $3 million birthday party in 2007. You know what came after 2007? The 2008 financial crisis. It's crazy the damage mismanagement in unregulated private equity firms can do on the real economy. And it's even crazier that after the 2008 crisis that foreclosed houses and made people go bankrupt, that only one person was put behind bars. And was it this Stephen man? No, it wasn't. Only one person paid for the decisions that many made to profit off other unsuspecting people, but yet, no, Stephen Schwarzman is another billionaire that got away with it. Oh, but how do they keep this much money? Maybe through empty rhetoric. Back in 2010, it was rumored that Schwarzman equated increased taxes to Hitler's invasion on Poland. Now, that's more than a bit fallacious if you ask me, so.
Coming in at number 5 is Kevin O'Leary. Now if you don't know who Kevin O'Leary is, then you probably haven't watched Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, and he was born in July of 1954, making him a boomer. He co-founded SoftKey software products, which then acquired their two biggest rival companies, making O'Leary a multi-millionaire. Now firstly, on the shows he's just a dick, there's no better way to say that, I'm sorry. He makes contestants call him Mr. Wonderful when he's pretty much the opposite. He regularly tells people that ideas are poo-poo, and one person literally got no offer from anyone except from O'Leary, and he turned it down. He was like, "I'll literally work with any of you but Mr. Wonderful," and then Kevin told him to f off. Then in September of this year, him and his wife were out on their boat in Muskoka. They crashed into another boat and ended up killing 2 people. And he essentially just blamed his wife for the whole thing. Like, how's man's literally blaming his wife for killing people when he was on the boat as well? Okay, boomer.
On to number 4, GINA RINEHART. So I was thinking we needed maybe a little more diversity, so I added a lady to the list, but it was kind of hard, you know, with the history of colonization done by mainly Western European countries and compounded that with policies that keep the money in the same few hands of the rich and pervasive patriarchal ideologies. It's kind of hard to say that this person is worse than all of the other entitled rich white men, but I found it. You're welcome. GINA RINEHART, born in 1954, is the richest Australian ever, and she can come across as She proposed that Australian workers should take a wage cut down to $2 to be more competitive with African workers. That wage isn't $2 an hour, but $2 a day. And she said this while she herself is estimated to make more than $1 million every 30 minutes. $2 million an hour versus $2 a day. Think about it. And she's also someone that said poor people should just work harder. And like, okay boomer, try to do that when people like you want people to work for $2 a day. And you think as someone who inherited her company from her father, she would be all for passing on what he left for his grandchildren to them, but no. RINEHART is in a legal battle with 3 out of her 4 children, saying she should be in charge of the trust that was left to them until 2068. AKA until she's 114 years old. So, okay boomer.
Filling at number 3 slot is Harvey Weinstein, and it irks me even saying his name, but he was born in March of 1952, so he is indeed a boomer. Now if you don't know who he is, Harvey and his brother Bob founded the company Miramax, which produced a bunch of films like Pulp Fiction, Heavenly Creatures, etc, but his reputation was basically tarnished in October of 2017 when a dozen sexual abuse allegations came out against him. He was accused of assaulting or raping these women, which he adamantly denied. Harvey was then fired from his own company, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science, BAFTA, and his wife also left him as a result. We stan Georgina Chapman so hard, good move there. By the end of October, over 80 women had made allegations against him, and it was actually this event that triggered the #MeToo movement. And that was basically a social media campaign with women coming out hashtagging #MeToo if they've experienced sexual harassment or assault. And then, because he's a piece of he hired the British-Israeli PI firm Black Cube to falsify these women's claims, to meet them under fake identities and collect information on them that could be used to discredit their claims, aka basically their personal or sexual histories. Imagine being so far gone that you can't even admit you did this after 80 people come forward against you. Okay, boomer, back on your bullshit. In May of last year, he was arrested and charged with rape, criminal sex act, abuse, and misconduct, but was released on $1 million bail. Guess the rich can just get away with anything.
At number 2, I've put the Koch brothers, and guess what? They aren't even baby boomers. They were born before that, so they are part of the so-called silent generation, but if you are thinking I won't okay boomer them, then you obviously don't know me and what I've said so far. The amount of money flowing through this one family makes me think them more of an empire than just a family. If your mind wanders to politics when I say empire, that's because I wanted your mind to go there. The Koch brothers are notorious for lobbying and funding for initiatives that work to their own interests. Some of their interests? Keeping eyes and policies away from how much Koch Industries pollutes. This group of boomer boys needs to be checked because power in the United States is supposed to be democratic, but those with money undoubtedly have more influence. Imagine an average 6-person family. Probably has a stretch budget unless they're a little better off. Now imagine that family persuading multiple government officials to vote a different way because they leverage possible donations in their next run. Right? Money is power, baby, and the Koch brothers need to be stopped. Charles Koch alone has $61.3 billion, and that's one out of a family.
And finally, at number 1 is Donald Trump. If you didn't think I was gonna put this man at number 1, then clearly you haven't been watching enough of my videos. Trump was born in June of 1946, making him undoubtedly a baby boomer. Where the hell do I start with this man? Like where? Where do I start with you? Honestly, I thought I was being punked when the votes were counted and he won, like genuinely. I had absolutely no trouble or issue with Trump when he was doing The Apprentice, when he was opening up a bunch of real estate, no problems. I was good. We were Gucci. It was only when I found out what he believed in and what he wanted to do with the country that I was like, hold on, this man is trash. Now before you guys go off in the comments, I'm not anti-American at all, I'm just anti your president. From wanting to build a wall to keep the Mexicans out, to the travel ban on Muslims that thankfully a lot of states didn't uphold, to pulling out of the Paris Agreement, the biggest climate treaty in the world right now, as one of the #1 carbon emitters in the world, and then instead blaming climate change on China, to claiming he would date his daughter if she wasn't his daughter, to saying you can grab a woman by the if you're a star, to just full on being racist and aggravating hate amongst people and minorities in the country. It genuinely shocks me that he hasn't been impeached yet, but soon, fingers crossed you guys. And yes, don't get me wrong, I know he's not all bad, I know economically he's done great things for the US, but the US was doing great before that anyway. You guys can come at me with your liberal or feminist attacks in the comments below, but this is my stance, I'm not apologetic, and I mean, he's not my president. Make America great again? Okay, boomer.
I also just want to jump in to say, he used deferments to avoid service in the Vietnam War and then lied and said it was because he had a high draft number, so that was before he was even president. And y'all think he's like super American? Like, yeah.
Well, that's it for today's video, guys. I know we got pretty heated. We do not hate boomers by any means.
No.
These people are just very problematic.
Yes. Honestly, I just have a point where it's just like past $75,000 a year, happiness has no correlation to wealth, so it's not necessary, and that's just all I want to say.
That's all you'll get from me.
Yes.
Let me know what you guys thought below. I'm sorry if we offended you with anything we said. Actually, I'm not, because these people are very problematic, so you shouldn't be offended on their behalf. Anyway, I've been your host, Ames.
And I've been your host, Abs.
And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Leave your problematic comments down below. Let's argue.
And we'll catch you next time. Bye. You can subscribe here somewhere.
Right on my face.
Yeah, right on her face. Y'all need to cut it with that.
Yeah. The more you know. A lot of links because you covered a lot of topics.
Filling on number 3 slot is Harvey.
WEINSTEIN.
Harvey.
Okay. Someone's rich, not me. Anyways.
Okay, I got it. Got it. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I feel like some pee maybe came out there.
I'm just fired. Tax the rich!
When he apprentice.